Hush.
Gosh, Majoris is so good at music. Hey, welcome everyone to the GHPC developer stream for January 2024. It is that time again. I am joined by Kavi.
Hello, hello.
Hey. And I think we have Harry here as well, but he's AFK.
No, I'm here.
Oh, you're here. All right, sick. We are pretty excited because we have a big milestone this time, the beginning of one. So let's get that started up and we'll see what I'm talking about. Just in case anybody was curious, the music that plays before the stream is a clip of Not One Step Back from the GHPC OST, which you can buy on Steam alongside the game. It's very cool.
Harry is here, yet very quiet. That's standard Harry.
Oh, I turned him up.
There we go.
I turned him up
There
in
we
between
go.
already, so it should be okay. Harry, say a few words.
Which ones? Any in particular?
Yeah, that's good enough.
Pine.
All right, you're dismissed.
Yes.
So, I am currently playing a version of the game with a different number than the current one. Let me turn my music down here. Because this is a preliminary build for a new patch that's coming soon. We've got some stuff that was not previously in the game. You will see in a moment. Any date should be within a week, right?
Yeah. Within a week.
We have a date, but we don't like giving actual dates until we.
I think he means when he says any date, does he mean like this could come at any date? In which case it's like, yes, it could. You're right.
No, I think they want an actual day. We have one in mind, but I'm not going to say it on stream. I'll just say it should be within a week.
I think they're asking you for a date, and you should be flattered.
Well, I'm actually tooken.
Missed opportunity.
Oh, did I pick the wrong mission? That's unfortunate.
You're in the second best tank in the game now.
Yep.
Wait, I think that was actually third best.
What's the best one?
Well, you've got M1 IP after. Wasn't that just a regular ass M1?
Might have been, yeah.
M901. Come on, man.
It's not even a tank.
Barely.
This guy's asleep at the wheel, man.
M901 is a Roomba. It's a little bit different. All right.
GHPC is so good. Thank you, Mr. Blue.
Hopefully
Despite our
second
best
time's the
efforts,
charm.
we try.
Hey.
What's this?
This
T98?
is, yes,
Not a turbine.
this is a T-64A. And you will see what's special about it in a little bit. This is a Soviet tank, USSR forces. This is not East Germans. This is basically Russians. This particular tank is not their cream of the crop. It's like their workhorse, a pretty big chunk of the fleet. But it is using updated ammo. If you can see in the bottom there, bottom left corner, it says, oh, never mind, I have a target. Okay, anyway.
Do that.
No, I did. The M113 is a necessary sacrifice. So, I have 3BM32 as my APFSDS, which I just completely wasted on that M113. In fact, let's do a little x-ray here. This is not the same ammo that you'll see in the East German T-72s. This is updated stuff. It's much stronger, and as you might know from the Halloween mission, it can smoke an Abrams at close range pretty handily, so something to change the balance a little bit, I think.
Yes, there's going to be multiplayer over Ice.
Yep, I'm pointing them to the roadmap.
Let's try to pre-range a little bit here. I want to say 1700. So this tank has a coincidence rangefinder and no laser rangefinder, which means when you see a target, you have to line up the sight on it, the middle of the sight, and bring up this split image. And then as you play with the range, the image changes. The top and bottom halves will change their alignment. When you have the top half and the bottom half of the target aligned, you know that your range is correct.
As a noob, I hate it, and I want a laser rangefinder. So.
Well, there will be a laser rangefinder in all of the newer Soviet tanks, but this particular one does not have it.
Enigma 89. That's the IL-2 server code. I mean Ace Combat.
He's some guy. We've talked to him once.
Perfect hit.
Bilkston. Appreciate the donation, thank you.
Let me get a better view. There we go.
I don't think we've written a gunnery guide for this yet. Probably.
We should. We haven't written a gunnery guide for a few things.
I know, I keep forgetting that they're not all done. One day. One day people will know how to use the Bradley and the M60A1.
The Bradley's second to none. You don't need to know how to use it. You just win.
Let me put my guys online here.
Fresh memes, yes. It works basically the same as the M60A1, but instead of superimposing an image on top of another, you've got a split down the middle and it shows one displacement at the top and one at the bottom. It's the same deal as in, if you've ever played like Silent Hunter or something, they do range finding the same way on ships.
Yeah, go ahead and pop smoke, coward.
It's a legitimate strategy.
The crew are shouting MZ, which is the autoloader in this tank. The carousel autoloader on the T-64 and T-80 is a little bit different from the T-72 and T-90. It's got these vertical cassettes for the propellant. And that is the MZ style autoloader as opposed to the AZ style on the other tank. Let's get a... I can't get a BMP yet. What are my guys
I think the
saying?
cassettes, isn't the cassette only in the AZ and the one in the MZ?
Oh, maybe. I'm not actually
Some
sure.
terminology thing.
Yeah, I just know that the charges are vertical in the MZ.
Got some questions about the radio icon in the bottom right.
Oh yeah, so there's spotting reports on the map now. Like my guys saw a PC over here. In fact, I'm gonna start dropping artillery. It's fading away because the report's getting outdated, and I get occasional heartbeats from my guys as well. All right, good hit. So this basically works the same as a T-72 if you're used to the T-72's fire control, with the difference that you don't have a laser rangefinder, so you'll have to use the split image to get your range. This is the precursor to the TPDK-1 sight that's in the T-72, and very early T-72s had this exact sight. T-64A just retained it for a while, even after laser rangefinders were already a thing. By 85, there was obviously T-64B and T-80B. We will see about those in the future. Why am I wounded? I think I got hit by artillery or something.
I think it's a TPD 249.
Yeah, 249 sounds right. I believe
TPD
that's true.
K is anything with a K after the TPD, so laser things. I think they call it a quantum rangefinder. Okay.
Yeah. That sounds right. I saw someone ask about subtitles. Those are coming. We hadn't finished transcribing them before the stream, so I'm just using no subtitles right now.
Hence why it's coming within a week.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple little things to iron out, but this is the bulk of the content ready.
Rangefinder placement is not random because it's a part of the optic. The T-72 one was like, it's kind of two separate things that aren't necessarily bore-sided to each other, whereas this is like, pretty sure it just mirrors the image down into the same channel as the day side.
Yeah.
This is only T-64.
Getting reports of tanks coming in. I'm gonna call CAS. Maybe I should smoke them too, actually. Oh yeah, that's another thing, which you will see momentarily. We not only have Soviets coming, and Soviet voices and radio reports, we also have smoke artillery. And as soon as my rounds start landing, I will show you that.
Will smoke kill exposed crew like on the M113? Like phosphorus?
That was a waste of a
Doesn't
missile.
right now.
No, it doesn't. I'm completely missing this because I dropped it right as my smoke deployed. Well, this is smoke artillery. It is huge, and it blankets the area that you select in a visual smoke screen. Now the trick here is that the packed smoke screens are of a composition that will block thermals. So if you are playing as East Germans or Russians, you will be able to stop the Abrams or whatever from seeing
Oh,
you.
look at that. What is that?
That is, I believe, an Su-22.
Yeah, it's a Su.
Yep. So we added a bunch of planes to the CAS lineup that weren't ready yet before. So they're not all going to be MiG-23s when you call in CAS as packed. I think in most missions they still are, but now there's Se-22 and some other stuff. I think there's some new ones for the NATO as well. I might show that later. Where's that tank? He's either dead or moved.
Do new 264s have their hatches open when on fire bailed from? That's a standard thing, right?
I don't remember if that's implemented yet.
There's no reason they shouldn't. I think they do.
That's kind of our telegraph to, like, yo, the crew has jumped out.
Yeah. We've been working on this for a while, but I can't remember which specific things are still needing to be polished up. We've got a few more days before the release. I think it's dead. You can see these Soviet vehicles have a difference in markings from the East German ones. Like, they don't have an East German roundel, for one thing. The typeface of their number stencils is a little different. And of course they use Soviet crew voice. I want more artillery, but it's not ready yet. I'm supposed to take this place. I'm taking fire from over here.
I am so freaking acoustic for GHPC. I feel like you mean a different word.
Yeah, the radio symbol's like a spotting target or whatever.
Yeah, there's definitely targets over here. When my artillery comes back online, I want to barrage this second objective. So I think they're going to be doing crossfire on me.
There's only T-64A in this update, correct?
Plus Soviet variants of some other vehicles, but yes, the only new vehicle is T-64A.
Yeah, the question was T-64 variant specific.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There we go. Whoever's waiting over there is gonna get the boom.
We're going to see mixed teams in battles now, German and Russian vehicles at the same time.
Not at first. I'm not sure if we'll do it later or not. I think it's time I roll this boy out.
Everyone always asks about ERA. Let's give the canned ERA answer.
ERA was just arriving around the time the game is set, and we currently are not going to implement it in this theater. But for future expansions, it's very likely.
Enigma. Did we talk about the M word yet? I don't know what you're talking about.
Like money?
Multiplayer?
Might be
Multis?
multiplayer. We'll let you guys know when there's something to show.
It is on our roadmap though, so double check gunnerheatpc.com, find links to our Discord, Patreon, roadmap, all that good stuff.
Right, this guy is actually...
I've seen multiplayer working. I know that it's real.
Let me restock a specific ammo type. This is another new thing. You are no longer forced to watch it cycle through every kind of ammo when it restocks. You can pick which one you want. The catch is that if you want to stop, you have to wait for the current round to be moved. So you need to be careful when you're restocking. I'm gonna uncancel. Because your crew can't just evaporate the round that's in their hands and go back to fighting. They have to finish.
And our new junior wrote that, so everyone type in chat, thank you, Bosch.
Yes, thank you, Bosch. That was a cool feature.
Thank you, Bosch.
Thank Mr. Skeletal.
Got 2 thank yous, 3 thank yous. Alright, I'm done. Good job. Good job, Bosch. Thank Mr. Skeletal Bosch. Alright, that's the best one.
Alright, I've been caught unprepared.
That's standard for you playing this game, right?
Shut up. How far away are they anyway? Jesus, that's like 23. So you'll notice I'm using the map and my spotting reports because I don't trust this rangefinder outside of 2000. It's just like playing T-55 where your best bet is to be pre-ranged for likely encounters, and then you can adjust with your range finding tools from there.
Will there be landmines later in the campaign or in instant action missions?
You'll have to wait and see.
Wink. This is the T-64A that Josh is currently driving.
Yes.
T-55A, not appear.
Wait, what is that?
It's a Sue again, isn't it? Or is it a MiG-21?
Looks like MiG-21. There we go.
Will infantry be used as ERA instead?
Someone asked a hellish question. I've lost it in the chat, but they asked, will the ammunition actually appear in the hands of the loader and animate its way into the breach? And the answer is a huge no, that won't be happening.
No.
God,
Unless you're volunteering, if you're an experienced animator and you want to do all that, you can apply and kind of hit.
It's a blend of game and simulation elements, and you don't need to see Joe, whoever, pick up a round and put it into a breach.
Yeah. I mean, there's not going to be full interiors anyway, so where are you watching them animate?
Hemduck filing for a refund now. I dare you. Don't do that, please.
I think there might be. There's a new heli that's in there. I don't know if it's been placed in missions though.
You talking about the little one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's been placed yet. I think that's coming next one.
Saw the
is-
question. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say there's a new Hind variant. I might see it in a mission somewhere.
Oh yeah, true.
Oh shit, rare boy sighting.
I guess that counts. Oh yes. Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
That's me, man. That's me on patrol.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Look at him go. I
Is
didn't
that a blast
expect.
and shit?
Yeah, I didn't know they were gonna
Get in
call.
there, son. Yes, go. That's literally me playing Red
He's rocketing.
You are every one of your units in Red Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Just that one, man.
Just that one. Okay. Anyway, someone asked, no, there will never be any prototypes.
Yeah, we have enough regular vehicles to make. Why would we saddle ourselves with that too?
Yeah.
Can someone mute Sebek Geo right now?
No, but I'll promote his comment for you. Let me just pin it really quick.
Let's see. Who's left? Who dares survive? Oh, I just have to take objective 2? No problem.
Mickey the Slav, Wiesel would be in theater. We haven't thought of a good way to actually apply it. Not sure how we would use it yet.
The Wiesel is kind of like a fast, scouty vehicle, right?
It's a tiny
Xbox.
little tankette thing that's meant to be airdropped and used for recon
Okay.
or fire support if you're a paratrooper. I've driven one before. It's cool, but I don't know how it would fit in here.
The Soviets do, well, depends on what you mean by field modifications. They've got different gear. Like they don't have the East German style night marching equipment.
I'm guessing by field modifications they mean like Afghanistan shit, because I saw someone post on the Reddit about that. I don't think that's happening.
It's been a little bit tricky to figure out how Afghan pilled we should be with the Soviet stuff, because I don't know if the universe of this game, the Soviet-Afghan war, is happening. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, L. Bradley. That must have been artillery kill, maybe? Or CAS. There were several of them. Sucks to suck, I guess.
There you
Yeah.
go.
So yeah, that was Red Steel. There are, I think, 3 new instant action missions, and I'm currently working on getting campaign working with it as well. So you'll see some new content.
Herchak, what is a Melty Bradley? I don't know what that is. It's like a praline. Is it some sort of indie praline?
Sounds delicious.
I just want to point out I got a first round hit with heat at 1800 with no laser. So that's pretty cool.
You're finally getting good at the game.
Thank you.
Dude, don't show your balls on stream, Jesus.
All right, let's
Christ.
talk about the balls. The T-64 turret armor is very interesting. It has, what do they call it? Ultraporcelain balls suspended in the cast steel. So the idea was that they are, one, it's an interface defeat because it's a ceramic-like material in the middle of steel. But also, I believe some of the idea was that they would be able to turn a little bit because they started with cylinders, like rollers, facing the direction of the threat. And then they switched to spheres later on. There's some simulations you can look up on YouTube. I think Damien XYZ has one that show the concept kind of in action. It was a cool idea, but there were manufacturing difficulties. It was very fiddly. They had to make sure the balls, the lattice structure was intact while they were pouring, and then the temperature would cause the material to be compromised as well. So eventually they were like, you know what, this is too much trouble. They used it in T-64B, but then after that they went right back to kvarts, the solid sintered quartz blocks like in the T-72A, and that is what the T-80B has. So anyway, a little bit of armor history while we're at it. The 3BM32, obviously a huge overmatch for these guys. This is 1700 meters. I think if these were Abrams, the turret would still resist 32 at that range, but the hull would not. So you're not going to be one-shotting Abrams necessarily unless you're at close range.
Unless you meet.
Yeah, unless you're if you're within like 1 kilometer, you can pretty handily beat up Abrams with the T-64. Or if you hit the hull, the lower hull. Turret's still going to resist you at long range, but this makes the playing field much more even, and it's going to be interesting to see how it affects the battles. This was just a cakewalk.
Sorry.
I was just going to say this is just a cakewalk because it's M60s.
Yeah. The question about whether kvarts is better. Usually the answer to questions like that is they had a cool thing and they found a simpler thing that was, even if it wasn't better, it's usually that it's like less of a pain in the ass to produce, or they can get more of it or something like that. It's almost always a logistics thing.
Yeah. My understanding of the ultra porcelain versus kvarts is that the ultra porcelain was like a tiny bit better in a vacuum, just marginally improved, but the kvarts was so much easier to produce and to cast turrets around that they just said, well, it doesn't make any sense to do something else now. They just made the T-80B's turret a bit thicker in the cheeks than the T-72, and they worked fine.
Could someone clip him saying thicker in the cheeks?
I'm sure you will later.
Yeah. See, look at this. 32 it's so much more capable than 15. It hit this angled part of the M60's turret that would probably shrug off 15, and it said, I'll bite. I'll get into that. It didn't kill anything. I think it wounded the commander, but it still, that would be an impossible shot for 3BM15.
Toby, yes, we are seeing Soviet-specific ammo. That's what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, this is not going to be given to these Germans. The T-72s are unchanged in the ammo department. It's just because we're using T-64s, so these are Soviet vehicles and they have all the latest Soviet ammo. Let's pull up a different mission.
T-80B is somewhere. T-80U is not coming.
Yeah, T-80U is too late to be in this theater. This is 1985. T-80U arrived in, what, 87? Something like that?
I'd sort of guess even later than that, honestly. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, either way, like, it's certainly after 85. We know that much, so it's not in the theater.
don't think we're gonna do BMD anything.
Yeah, BMDs would be airborne, right?
Yeah, and I'm not clear on what their tasks would have been in the event of a European war. I don't know if they would have been involved. I don't know.
Someone asked what's the best way to kill T-64. Honestly, the Abrams has good ammo for shooting T-64s, especially T-64A. The T-80 is a little more resistant, but it's kind of a similar situation to the Russian ammo versus the Abrams. Like once you get within about a kilometer, all bets are off. You're only gonna really resist at longer ranges. Once the distances close, everybody can kill everybody. Except the East Germans.
Chicken Nugget saying T-80U 1985. This is a thing that we have to explain all the time. But if you look on Wikipedia and it says first entered service in year, you got to keep in mind that real life isn't like Age of Empires. It's not like you click on your barracks and you upgrade and everything goes all Mars, and then all of a sudden you've got all new. You've got this rollout period. It takes a long time for stuff to actually show up. And sometimes they do things like, oh, we're building a bunch of these things and they're going to some other front. It really depends on where they're sending them. Like, for example, the Soviets just weren't using T-72s in this area at all, even though they're building them. It's kind of an interesting thing, but like it's a lot more of a complicated question than just when first one of these enter service at all. It's got to be when it actually go on a train to the spot.
Yeah, also never trust Wikipedia dates. It's usually like it got type classified in that year and they say, oh, yep, that's it. That's when it went in service.
What are you talking about? Abraham Lincoln was assassinated in 1967.
Akapama, I don't think we'll do that. The question was, would you open up this game to third-party developers like DCS? We haven't really had a formal discussion about that internally, but I think everyone would probably assume that's not happening, because basically it creates some nightmarish situations in DCS's development, and I don't think we want to take on stuff like that. And I'm not sure what we would gain from it either.
It would be interesting to have collaborations with other developers to promote our work and their work, but in that sense, yeah, it could be a nightmare scenario between like who has to deliver on what. And just not something that's in the cards right now. Are you gonna miss the shot?
Oh, I hit, but I didn't hit anything important.
Our game engine is Unity.
He's lying, it's Roblox.
Well, it's a Roblox wrapper, so multiple points of emulation.
God damn it.
There are no plans to add the British chieftain, but we will add a boiling vessel.
Oh, this guy has no barrel.
And voice the crews. He wrote the voice system for that Russian crew.
Yeah. Our other junior, Jaden, he did a lot of work getting the Soviet voices imported into our system. So, thank you, Jaden.
T-72B not happening. There is a mod. You can go and download the mod if you really want to play T-72B.
Mm-hmm. T-72B wasn't being used by the Soviets in the area that the game is set in. They had it in other places. So even though it was existing in 1985 and in service, it wouldn't make an appearance here. They had a lot of T-80s and T-64s.
Good. Thank you, Jaden's in the chat.
Love to see it.
I do love to see it.
Alright, that smoke came in clutch.
Thank you, Enigma. Take it easy.
His energy.
He's giving us energy for our spirit bomb. You've watched Dragon Ball Z, you know. You got it.
When will we see combos? That's a good question. Or Jeeps, that's another good question.
T-64B question. There's a mod. Go and find it. It ain't happening.
No, no, that's a T-72.
Yeah, there's no
Too many of these
T-64B mod.
things.
Oh, God. Alright. I'm the normie. I'll ask, is there actually a T-64B?
Oh no, I lased the smoke. That's not 480.
Is there a T-64B? Yeah.
But in real life, in reality.
It does exist. There is one. Yeah.
What was the big difference?
It had a better FCS. A better FCS than an Abrams, actually.
Mm.
T-55A is not going in the game. T-55A is not Polish. There is a Merida, which is a Polish sort of take on a T-55A, I guess you could say. And then there is the lethality, which is the Czech one. And then there's the Russian one, which is... they're all... The FCS is the difference between those things.
West Germans have been detailed in our roadmap. You should check it out at GHPC.com.
Developers are not afraid to add the M2B. We will be adding the M2B. Yes, there are BTRs. God damn it. We've just been through like 6 months of people being like, where's the T-64? We had the T-64. It's like, alright, next thing.
Yep. Welcome to the stream.
T-62M1, no. T-55A, M2, no. Not happening.
How about
At least
this?
not
The-
in this theater.
How about this? The next person that asks when is this coming, that we cancel that. We cancel that thing.
Yeah, that would be
Dig it. Why is the Warsaw Pact Forces smoke black?
They use a different chemical composition than the NATO smoke. It also launches much further away because it's meant to be used as a maneuver tool rather than a defensive blanket. My phantoms. Oh, oh, oh.
You cannot draw on the map at this time.
Look at
When they
that.
were not in this theater, it's too early.
Yeah, despite what Wikipedia says, M1A1 was not fielded in 1985. They would not have had them in Germany or anywhere near Germany. Best you're gonna get is M1IP, which this isn't.
Bob Semple is already in the game.
Yeah. You guys keep missing it, but it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Will there ever be anti-air? That's a good question.
We've had internal discussions.
Will there be mod support in the future? It's about as supported as it's going to be for the foreseeable future.
Yeah,
already.
the game is already moddable. You can mod it whenever you like. We won't be doing any specific tools or anything to support it.
If you want to talk to other like-modded modders...
Like
then-
modded.
Did I say? Damn.
Yeah.
If you want to talk to any like-minded modders of the game, we have a modding forum in our Discord, so go ahead and join.
Yep.
When will we get a GHPC crop top in the merch store? There's like a queue of things to be made, and I think crop top comes right after the GHPC Arsenals chaps. They're going to be first.
Josh is really hoping for that one.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm only staying around until those are released. That's why I made the game.
It's all been
We gotta hold
rumors.
off on it.
Is that another 104?
What's the DCS rework?
I'm guessing they mean FCS and they hit the next key over.
Oh, it's the same thing that
That makes
Nordkin has
sense.
been asking for forever. No, it's not in the game.
M113 anime skin when? Whenever a modder puts it in. And I'll be done developing on this game.
I know my crew are freaking out because we're about to get killed, but I want to watch this. Yeah.
Storm Snipper, that's totally fine. You should buy it. Feeling fully confident to buy it. I much prefer people to buy the game and enjoy it and be happy with their purchase than have any kind of feelings of wanting to refund it or like they've made a
Yeah.
mistake.
If you're not sure if the
Yep.
game is for you, don't buy it. We can wait.
Your dad may never come home with milk. I'm sorry, Coleus.
Oh, come on.
There's already fully clickable cockpits. It's just no one's figured out how to get into the planes yet.
I'm gonna call a
Just got
revenge
dunked on,
CAS. I know I did.
Players driving APCs will not be able to dismount and give orders to infantry.
No. Unless you mean dismount the infantry, in which case yes, but you can't play as the dismounts.
That's what I guess I read that as. Yeah, good to clarify.
Yeah, you can tell them to get out, but you can't control them. Or not
Okay.
much.
Tactical nukes when? We want you to keep playing the game, not just destroy it.
Oh yeah,
I,
I forgot about this one. There's new exhaust effects, minor detail, but our VFX guy's always cooking. So all the vehicles have exhaust that actually looks realistic in some way, including the Abrams, which I think... Yeah, there you go. I don't know if you can see it on the stream. There's some heat distortion behind my turbine.
it's visible.
Yeah.
The FX guy does cook. I agree, Chad.
I think the question's been buried now, but someone was asking about whether it's going to be multi-crew or multi-tank. I think it's going to be both.
Yeah, it's both. We're gonna have the
Right
option
now
for
it's
multi-crew.
multi-tank, right? You see that
Yeah.
shadow?
The what?
Yep.
Look cool.
Oh, I was looking away at the time. There he goes. I wanted him to take out every single vehicle, and he did not, so... Can't get good caps these days.
Thunderbolt 6 asks if expansions would be locked to 1985 timeline. It'll be whatever we think is fun.
Oh, that's what got me. This guy.
Multi-crew means multiple players in multiplayer playing in one tank different roles.
So you get to yell at your friends.
Yes. If
I can't
you
wait to be the driver.
if you guys direct your attention to the label of what killed me here, 9M114. This is the Sturm.
Whoa.
It yeah, I got smacked.
You had one job, Josh.
To
Don't
not
get
get
smacked.
killed by a hind.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might notice this is very similar to the hind that's already in the game, but it is a little different too. It's Russian marked and it has much better missiles.
And it's got a slightly different dome on the front there.
Oh, the under the nose?
Yeah. The little
yeah.
dome. On the Mi-24B it's round, on the Mi-24D it's slightly squared.
Interesting. So yeah, we're up on our hind lore. It is the most important feature of the tank game.
When is Abrams X? You can go make a mod of that right now.
Mm-hmm.
And
What is
I'll
Abrams
play it.
X?
It's something.
It's a
that
tech
Abrams
demonstrator that came out like last year.
Prototypes.
Yeah.
Also, last year. D. Solid Snake, thank you. The man who cold.
Yeah, so here's an example of what you can expect from T-64. It's not going to tank every shot, or even most shots. It's very similar to a T-72. in that it will die when it gets hit, but it's different from the East German T-72s in that if it shoots stuff, it probably kills it. It's kind of a glass cannon situation in the current meta of the game. So I had no trouble killing every T-64 that I shot, but they also killed me. So that's the situation now.
Will the Czech People's Army be in the future? If
Dude.
there's a theater, what?
You can't just say Czech, it's Československo, man.
Whatever. If there's a theater that calls for it, who knows?
They're not in the current theater, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not in the current theater, but the Scott is so kick-ass, man. I want to make a Scott.
Ooh. This Vant got weakened enough by going through the dirt, and then it hit the top of the hull armor array and shattered. I got lucky that time. That would have been a kill if it was like a centimeter lower. Anyway, enough looking at AAR screenshots. I need to get my favorite weird shots and post them on the Steam forum and be like, well, should this have been possible? And see if anybody has a meaningful answer.
The tea leaves.
There's a question there, is the T-64 night sight better than the T-72? I think canonically it was slightly better, but I can't remember off the top of my head. And I also don't know if we've made it better yet, if it is.
I can't remember.
The amplifier was a little bit better, maybe.
Yeah, I might have to go tweak the number before the actual release. I saw somebody ask for leaks. Brother, this entire stream is unreleased content. You can settle down.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Will AI skill be flexible? Like a new crew that's slow on loading,
let's come around
target,
with this.
etc.
That remains to be seen. If that is the case, it would be something in campaign, and then we're not sure yet. We have to see what the progression for crew is like. I'm not sure if this mission's working right in the current test. I might have to roll back to another build to show it.
I'm not sure you're working right in the current test.
I'm never sure about that, honestly.
Armor fatigue is not a thing.
No, armor fatigue's not coming. It's not going to be meaningful in any scenario. It would be like 1 in 1,000. Oh, it happened to hit the same spot, and that's not worth it for us to do that work for that purpose.
As we're approaching.
Sorry, go. Will APC be able to remount dismounts? I'm pretty sure yes. I think that's part of the plan.
I
They might
believe
be
so.
able to already. We've got them cooking, but they're not ready to go yet.
As we're approaching the end of the hour, I just want to note that after this, we do a monthly patron Q&A in our Discord. If anyone is interested in that, you can go to gunnerheatpc.com, find all the links to go sign up, and then an additional hour. We do those monthly because we don't do these streams every month, but we want to give the patrons a little bit extra. And there we talk about a bit more of development, show off some leaks, whatever we've been working on, and just answer general questions. So if you're interested, gunnerheatpc.com and check out the Discord.
Yep. Patrons get a Q&A every month, even if we don't do a stream. And this particular Q&A, I think we're following up with a test build release for the CAS tier, because they get early testing builds, so that's exciting.
You got a question, does any packed tank get FCS similar to M60 or Abrams? And
Yes.
the answer is you get something better than that, actually.
Yep, the T60... T80B.
Unless what they mean by that is thermals, in which
Well,
case no.
Right, no thermals, but FCS-wise, yes, the T-64B and T-80B have a 1A33 fire control complex, which has dual-axis stabilization, meteor sensor, and all the bells and whistles. It is equivalent to M1A2 in its feature set.
It's a laser and blaze.
It really is. It's going to be very juicy when it comes. Oh, that's Abrams.
Will there be British CAS? Probably not. Must be forces in, I guess.
What would British CAS be?
Probably a
Terrible.
Cat or a... I don't know. Maybe a Harrier or something. Tornado.
Very lock tornado.
No, there will not be terrain deformation.
If you mean like visual terrain deformation, like little ruts, maybe eventually, but nothing serious. It's not going to be like spin tires up in here.
I don't understand Coolius's question. This time span of the game, do you mean like how long does the campaign last, or what do you mean?
The setting is roughly 1984, 85. But
Yeah, 85.
as far as like how long the game progresses, like in a campaign or something, that remains to be seen if we want to enforce that.
We'd only want to be so specific about it anyway, because at a certain point of like you go further and further into being quite specific about things, and it's just like suspension of disbelief can be sort of lost, because it's like you know, this conflict has dragged on for a year and nobody's nuked each other yet. It's kind of like all those questions start becoming relevant. So it's sort of like,
Ultimately, it's not supposed to be a history simulator. It's just a tank game. So the 85 thing is for setting a stage that makes sense and is coherent, and then from there we just do what makes sense for the game.
Will there be ammo differences for Russian versus German crews?
Yes, there are. I mean, already their tanks have the same gun, but my tank is Russian right now, Soviet, and it has Vant in its ammo rack, 3BM32. But the East German stuff has 3BM15, which is quite outdated by this time. So that's a difference.
can we see T-62s? I'd love for you to see a T-62.
Yeah, you'll probably see a T-62 at some point. Yeah, patrons have seen T-62. That's true, several times.
Patron's the real MVP.
Yeah,
Question about water. We've screwed around with it. We don't know, like it's not a priority, but we've done a bit of messing around with it. We'll see.
shit.
Alright. Gotta start wrapping this up, Josh. Do your thing and die.
Yeah, I know. Oh, look at that. I'm doing well.
Wow. A rarity.
Task failed successfully.
I'll repeat it one more time. T-55A and T-55A was not in service with anyone in this theater.
Yeah, the T-55AM series existed in 85, but the East Germans didn't have it by 85 as far as I know.
They...
Sorry, I couldn't hear you over how awesome that crew was.
T-62 is not in this update.
No, it's not.
LRF T-55 was at one point in the game, but it is not right now.
Right.
It's got a very kooky fire control system, and I think if you tried to use it, you would submit a bug report and say, working as intended, will not fix.
Ooh, get Shrek'd. That's right. You gotta know how to talk to Abrams.
This is a question for Josh. Are Soviets going to be in the campaign or not yet?
I'm currently working on putting them in the campaign, so if I finish that by the time the patch comes out, then yes. Well, no, currently I'm getting my ass beat in front of an audience, but this week I'm putting them in the campaign.
Yeah, but that's no different from any stream we have.
Yeah. Some people pay
You should
money
be
for
used
that.
to it. You should be used to it.
Yeah.
Does T80 get AGM? Probably. It's not always, but... Like a bummer, that is information that we do not divulge.
Yeah. We know what theaters we're going to.
People who are into Cold War, war game sort of stuff will probably be able to make fairly educated and fairly close guesses as to what kind of things we want to do. Because the people that do this stuff, if you're trying to base everything you're building off some sort of plausible scenario, it kind of trims down the possible things you can do quite a bit.
Alright, as soon as I lose this mission, the stream's over.
So get your questions in now.
Yep. You might notice...
We'll be able to use the 113 with the tow launcher. If you mean ITV, eventually, yeah.
Eventually, not right now. Also, people might notice that as I drive, my range changes slightly. It's decreasing, especially if you look in the HUD in the bottom corner. That is because this tank has Delta D, which is a feature of some Soviet fire control systems, where as you drive it will count down your range. So if you range a target that's stationary and then you move in toward it, it will automatically adjust. On the T-72 it was kind of pointless because you could just relays, but I actually appreciate it a lot on this tank because it's a manually set rangefinder. And if I know that I haven't, or that my target hasn't moved, I know I don't need to rearrange my coincidence optics, which is cool. Another thing is that the control for toggling Delta D, or sorry, the control for dumping Delta D, which is control range, has been changed to a toggle. So if I'm doing Control E right now, because I have E as a rangefinder, it's setting my Delta D to enabled and disabled as I press it. Just a small quality of life thing, it'll make it easier to interface with that system.
Do we have a rough release date for the next patch, or is that still up for grabs? It's pretty much the same time. It's just once per month. We always do our major patches once per month. And then sometimes there'll be like hot fixes and stuff in between. Every single month.
We try to stay consistent.
I saw a comment the other day where someone said, "Oh, the patch is getting less frequent. What's going on?" It's like literally the same time every month.
Yeah, it's
I kind of don't understand.
pretty much monthly. Sometimes it takes slightly more than a month, or sometimes we do a minor patch and then the major one is spaced out from there. But pretty much every month there's at least one patch that's been consistent for... You can look through the entire Steam update history of the game and you'll see that it's a trend.
Yep.
I see like comments and stuff where it'll be 3 weeks since the last patch and people would be like, is there any sign of life on this project? It's like, well, have you looked at all? Where did you look? Yes, there is.
Will we see West German assets added to the game before other roadmap elements like infantry or detailed crew is finished? Maybe.
Oh, he's mad.
Will HMGs only be used when detailed? We aren't sure. There's a big, huge list of stuff to do, and we kind of, like, the team collectively dole the work out, and we do what makes the most sense in terms of can we get it done for a patch. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that's things that we didn't expect to be ready for this soon. I don't know. I feel like the roof MGs will be sometime before mid-year, but I don't actually know.
Yeah.
It's done when it's done.
Something that may have been missed, I just want to point out that you might have to rewatch the VOD to see it. When I got hit, a message came up saying fire in compartment. That's new. And then it took a bit of burning and some explosions before the power was actually lost, and the power lost message came on. So that's a minor change, but it should be more clear what's happening now on your damage HUD, especially when you catch fire. A lot of people would say, like, how come every time I get hit I lose power and then I die a minute later? And it was because the power lost was kind of a substitute for indicating that there's a fire started. Now it actually tells you, hey, there's a fire started, so you can tell, oh, that's why I died. That's why my crew bailed out instead of this mysterious power loss thing. So just a small thing.
Drift WT, we literally just answered that question.
Yep.
Not answering it again.
Oh, that's
Oh,
pretty
no!
cool.
I've clipped into a house.
This is
Alright.
an ancient Italian combat technique, actually.
The
jumping
game
out
wants me
stuff.
to lose, is what I'm getting.
I want you to lose.
Yeah, so we can move on to the Q&A.
Yeah, man. I got shit to do.
Alright, well we did start after 12, but yeah. Alright, I'll go get smacked by an Abrams and then we'll wrap it up.
AI is always being worked on, coolest. So eventually, yeah, they'll be fixed.
I don't know if there's really been a patch where we didn't touch something on AI.
Yep,
Yeah, it's constantly being changed.
it's a beast. Multiplayer update when the game is ready and you're all ready for it.
Multiplayer update, I'll tell you exactly when it'll come out. It'll come out the day after you completely forget about this game and don't think about it anymore. That's when it'll come out. I can promise you that.
Oh, you just took that like a champ. Good job.
Yep, and my driver died on the steering tiller too. Alright.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And with that, we continue the tradition of the devs being terrible at the game, and we move on to the Q&A. So thank you everyone for coming, and I'm sure we will see you soon.
Thanks all. Bye-bye.